welcome to our community. Susie Thomas here with you this morning, and we're visiting with Dr. Roger Palutzis. He works at Alliance. Tell me which Alliance Hospital.
Alliance Community Hospital.
Alliance Community. And welcome.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
We found out about you because we heard about an amazing new revolutionary thing taking place, and then found out that a doctor right here in our own community was working on this, and that is using 3D printing as far as being able to work that into your surgery. So we're going to get there. But first of all, let's find out why that's cool, why that's important. First of all, tell us a little bit about you, your specialty, and what you do.
Well, great. It's great to be here. As you said, I'm an orthopedic surgeon who grew up in Chicago. My main family is up in Chicago, Stoll. And I was going to be doing my sports medicine fellowship of all things, and was going to come back and take care of a little basketball team called the Chicago Bulls back in 1990.
Heard of them?
Yeah, and that was pretty much ordained until I met a young lady who was from this Mecca town in Ohio called Alliance. And so that changed things. So in 92, when I got done with my fellowship, we moved to Alliance, actually live in Louisville, and have been in practice there in Alliance as the Carnation Clinic now, going on my 25th year.
Oh, wow.
So because it's Alliance, I take care of a little football team there that happens to have won 12 national championships.
Would that be at Mount Union?
That would be Mount Union, and my brother takes care of Northwestern, and where I have 12 championship rings, he has 0. So he's been at the Rose Bowl where I've been at the Stag Bowl, and he was about 50 degrees warmer. But
those rings mean something.
It's fun. It's a great group of kids and coaches, and it really has been a great experience from that standpoint. But because of being in Alliance, I do a little of everything. I fix all the broken bones that happen come our way, from young kids to the older folks, and still do a lot of sports, but then started doing a lot of joints as need be. And because of my sports medicine, it's kind of created a little niche, if you would, because I do a tremendous amount of minimally invasive joint replacement surgery, which I think is really heavily weighted from my sports medicine background.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about bones. What I know is being a mom rushing sons to the emergency room because of broken them. But I always heard that once something has broken, then it's stronger once it heals. Tell us about our bones and the amazing bodies we have.
Well, you're absolutely right. It's interesting because as we try to become more active and stay more active, we have all the young kids that are, before skeletally mature, and they have all the activity, and they get bad luck. They fall from the swing set and that type of thing, and they'll break their bones, and a lot of that is related to their growth plates. So those are have a lot more concern to folks like myself as we get older into that mid-age, and we start trying to be active maybe more than we should, and think we can still play like the young folks. Then we can break things from a little bit too much impact. Or more than likely we wear things out, whether it's our tendons, our muscles, our joints. I'm not going to have all the runners in Stark County call your show, but I'm not a huge advocate of running for exercise as we get older. Well, you get one set of tires, and that's all you have. And if you wear those out, at an earlier stage, you have a little bit of wear and tear. The running accelerates that, and that's not to say it's not great to be in shape. It's not great not to say that there aren't other things to do, but to pound the pavement, so to speak. And yet there's people that are 80 years old and don't have arthritis and that type of thing. But we're seeing younger and younger folks that are coming in with significant arthritis, needing a fair amount of orthopedic care.
Do you attribute that to the running craze that happened back in the 70s, or why do we have
it's
younger
hard
and
to
younger?
say. I don't really know. I think right now we identify injuries earlier than our parents and our grandparents. You were on death's doorstep before you went to the doctor in the day. Now on Friday night you get hurt, you're seeing the doctor on Monday. And so we're identifying injuries quicker. We can fix things quicker. It's amazing what we're able to do arthroscopically, with joint repairs and things like that. I think we're going to find out eventually it's something in our environment that's leading to a lot of degenerative joint disease. We don't have our finger on it now, but I think we're going to ultimately find out it's something dietary.
Yeah. What trends do you see happening as far as people coming to you with complaints? And let's say people in their 50s, 60s now that were younger back in the day, and they're still trying to be active. We've got an active group of seniors. Senior citizens are probably as active as they've ever been.
True.
So they're probably coming to you with some complaints here and there. What trends do you see?
Well, it's amazing. I think we photocopy everybody's driver's license, but nobody bothers looking at it to see how many birthdays they've had, because I have 70-year-olds that think they want to be 40, and I have 50-year-olds that think they want to be 20s. And everybody is trying to be more active. There's no doubt about it. We are living longer. We're living better. We feel it's our right to live a high quality of life. And so I think we have more individuals that are requiring a little more maintenance, so to speak. So my big push, it was from 25 years ago with the young kids, was to get them all on flexibility training, because when I came, we saw all kinds of growing pains, which are completely avoidable. Excuse me. Now, with my older population, as I'm getting older myself, it's all about flexibility. So it's more going to the gym to do the yoga and the stretching than it is to see how many pounds you can lift over your head in a certain period of time. So I think people are taking care of themselves. They want to exercise. When they exercise, they may get a little sore. So it's a lot of education that goes on in an office. I fancy myself more of a teacher than I am a surgeon, to try to educate people that here's where you're at. Let's do what we can with what we have. But people are very well read now, and they don't want to slow down.
You mentioned cartilage, you mentioned diet, and that possibly the two are related. I know we don't know for sure, but what would be your best guess right now as far as how to stay flexible longer?
Well, I think what we're seeing in the doctor's offices, the trends are, last year there were over 250,000 hip replacements in the United States and over 500,000 knee replacements. So that's a tremendous amount of end-stage arthritis we're dealing with, and we're seeing younger and younger folks that are coming to that point, and it's not just old football injuries that we're seeing. I don't think we're working harder than our parents or our grandparents. I think we are working with more technology, more things that do work for us. And so the only thing, in my mind, I think the things that's changed is I think our diet has changed. Mm-hmm. And when you're looking at arthritis, you look at it from a cellular level. You look at it down to the cartilage cells. And if something is changing the water content of our cartilage cells that are leading to desiccation and more wear and tear, I think that can potentiate what's going on. Right now, we don't have that answer. Mm-hmm. Mine's just a speculation.
But a smart speculation,
Sure.
An informed one.
Sure, informed.
I know an ounce of prevention is still worth a pound of cure. So is there something you would recommend? Any kind of, I don't know, there's fish oil. We're told all kinds of things. What should we do? What do you do?
Well, I have a wife who's in great shape and very flexible, so she tries to get her husband to be as flexible as I can. So we actually do that together. I had to have surgery myself for my back recently, so I'm a little limited in terms of the pounding the pavement. But I think exercise from a stretching standpoint is invaluable. When I tell kids that I want them to stretch and they give me, and then I tell them, what a waste of time. And then I tell them LeBron LeBron James does yoga, and football teams do ballet routines. Then, oh, really? In I don't want to say your day and my day, when Lou Alcindor or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, whatever, he came up, Bill Walton came up. Yeah. They looked like Big Bird, running down the court because they were, use the word dorky, and so tall and not flexible. Now you see these guys that are 6'11", 7'1". They run like jackrabbits. It's because they're flexible. And so I try to get my older folks to keep flexible, do the stretching. That's extremely critical. It's less wear and tear on the joints. Medicine-wise, I don't want to go through a whole lot of supplements, but our world, we definitely support the glucosamine and chondroitin. That is very, very good nutrition for your joints, as a non-prescription entity.
Great. All right. So that supplement is a good thing.
Absolutely.
Good to know. We're with Dr. Roger Palutzis. He's with the Carnation Clinic. Being on the cutting edge is not new to you. You were one of the first and foremost to be doing minimally invasive surgery. Talk about that a bit.
Sure. I think that's where my sports medicine kind of had that influence. And basically, this first started with doing hip replacements. So total hips. I was doing smaller and smaller incisions, and then somebody came up with a great idea that maybe we can do that without cutting any muscles, and it was done through 2 small incisions. And I thought, well, it'd be kind of interesting to try it, and I did, and I modified the operation, invented different instruments for it, and unfortunately, not many people embraced it. I happen to embrace it, and I've done close to 1,500 of them in the last 12 to 14 years, and people do extremely well. They go home from the hospital the next day. Just think about that. A decade and a half ago, 95% of people were leaving the hospital, were going back to work by 3 to 6 weeks, didn't need any physical therapy. Complications rates were almost down to zero in certain things. So it really was revolutionary, but yet as a pioneer, you're kind of shot down a lot, and now everybody seems to be embracing it in a different form of minimally invasive thing. This isn't a bad idea, and I think anytime you can do something without violating muscles unnecessarily, and that's the world of sports, I think that's a good thing, and still be able to get the same, if not better, result.
Well, it does seem amazing because a hip is big. And you're talking about 2 small incisions. How in the world do you get a hip in there?
I don't understand it half the time when I see folks, and 2 hours later I see them on the floor and they're walking up and down and walking around the hallways.
Wow.
It's really fascinating. It's just attention to detail, and obviously doing a lot of them, and have a phenomenal team. People ask me, why are you in Alliance? I said, why not in Alliance? What I love about Alliance, we got a great hospital, I got a great team, and when certain members of those teams aren't there, I don't do that operation. That's how critical it is. That everybody knows, what they're doing, and you have a very small margin for error, but boy, the rewards are tremendous. And so that was something that I embraced with the hips and the partial knees, or the unicompartmental knees, where you can do both of those without cutting any muscle. Unfortunately, you can't do that with total knee replacements because of the way the knees are designed.
You were talking about custom knees before we went on the air. Explain how that works.
Well, I used to tell people for the last 6 or 7 years that I did custom knees, and I think that was just because I was a little bit lazy in the description. And I guess a custom knee, the normal person would think they make my knee. Well, that hasn't happened until very recently, and it's only one company that does that. And as we go through that discussion, it's really fascinating that somebody can make a knee specific for one patient as cost conscious as it is as if you mass produce these for everybody. And there's a company, Conformis, out of Boston that has done that. They just celebrated their 50,000th knee going in. I think I'm part of their 25. That's probably how many I've done. As I just switched over to doing that several months ago, but results have been fantastic.
That's wonderful. Our knees are all different, huh? We have, they're certainly not one size fits all.
They're not. Boys' knees are different than girls' girls' knees. And obviously, you would think a football player's knee is different than your knee as a petite gal. In the Japanese culture, I mean, they got tiny bones, and so the type of bone structure is completely different. But more importantly, the shape is different. And what we've historically asked our engineers to do, if you think about this, we want you to design a knee that will give you 6 sizes. One of the companies has 20 sizes, and all of those sizes had to fit every single person in the world, whether it's a boy or a girl.
Wow.
And that's a lot of pressure on the engineer. But we've done it. We've done a good job with it. I think most people are very, very satisfied with their hip and their knee replacement the way it is now. The success rate is well into the 90s. But it would be great if it was in the 100 percentile range as far as that goes. And so by actually making a custom implant, you're making it not only sized to that particular individual, which is kind of nice, obviously, but you're making the shape the way it was before their arthritic state of their knee, and that's absolutely fascinating.
We're going to find out how that is possible after these words, and stay with us. You're listening to Our Community.